Some viewers might remember this giant box from last year as the huge box that contains my Tandy TRS-80 Model 1. What's a bit new this year is I finally acquired the matching disk drive. I have several other disk drives, easy for me to say, for this system, but this is an actual Radio Shack TRS-80 branded drive that matches the set. Last year, I also had this line filter, but it never showed up in a video. I started filming a video for this. It needed some repair. I started working on it, and then I kind of ran out of September. So I just packed everything all up and set it off to the side, and I'll come back to it real soon now. Well, I guess, a year later is as good a time as any. So I'm going to finish this up. You'll be able to tell very easily which is the old footage and which is the new footage. I'm going to finish this up, and I'm going to get everything all set up with the whole matchy-matchy set. I'm actually pretty excited about that. So let's go ahead and dig into it. So this is the Radio Shack TRS-80 Line filter, or as we would call it nowadays, power strip. Now this particular power strip is specifically for the TRS-80 Model 1, and I'm sure of this because the outlets on it are specifically labeled monitor, EI for expansion interface, CPU, and peripheral 1 through 5. So plenty of space for, 3 disk drives and a cassette tape drive and something else. Something else just for fun. The problem with this, and the reason that I haven't been using it, is it doesn't seem to work, which is kind of a bummer. When you turn it on, I don't know if this will show up on the camera, but very dimly the light in the switch comes on, but I'll turn this off when I plug this in. But there's no power coming out any of the outlets, and I've tried all of them, and it seems dead. So I'm going to unplug it, and then take it apart, and it's probably either there's a fuse inside of it somewhere that's burned out, or something else obviously wrong with it. Maybe it's fixable, maybe it's not. Maybe this will be a video, maybe it won't. But let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and dig into it. Unplugged, because it would be a shame to get electrocuted on camera. I guess at least it's not a live stream or something. Okay, before I open it, I don't know if it'll be possible to tell, but these screws are a little bit unusual. Like, part of the threads are really, really deep on them. Like there's some kind of self-tapping screws or something. And before we open this up, let's see if I can angle this. Hopefully that's legible. Catalog number 261451. TRS-80 line filter. Oh, there's actually a lot more in here than I would have anticipated. So it looks like I will have to find something to undo those knots. Yeah, because I won't be able to just get them off without a tool. Okay, I will return with a tool that I wasn't anticipating that I would need. Unfortunately, I did not hit record on the camera, even though I'm quite sure that I did, but whatever. The nuts don't actually have to come out. It's just, this board is just kind of hung up on the little plastic bits that the screws went into. And so with a little bit of application of a lever, they let go. And there is a surprising amount of stuff in here. I honestly don't know what these components are. I'm assuming that this implements filtering. Power wasn't as clean in the 70s and 80s as it is today, so I can imagine that something like this would have been helpful to clean up the power signal going into the computers and other electronics to prevent weirdnesses. But this is all really packed in here, and there are a lot of things about this that seem very sketchy to me. Not only that it's so jammed in here so tightly, but that these rails that have, even though I don't have it plugged in, I feel really uncomfortable getting my finger too close to those. These rails that have just mains voltage on them are like, la la la, we're just hanging out here in the open. But, you know, as people got electrocuted or burned their houses down or whatever, the rules about these kinds of things got a lot tighter and the safety requirements dramatically increased. Now, unfortunately, the other thing that happened while the camera was off is, if I flip this around the other way, is right here was this fuse. And it's pretty obvious just from looking at it that this fuse is completely toast. Perhaps literally. I don't know where it went, which is not great. But it was enclosed in a little plastic tubing, which is now one of my concerns about attempting to repair this. Is it's a really tight fit in here. This fuse is soldered in, which I'm not super comfortable with in the first place, but then also because it's so tight, I don't think that there's room for a fuse holder and being able to have any kind of shielding to keep it from shorting out on this little bit on this outlet right here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. But what I know for sure, for absolute, is this is a 125 volt, and I want to say when I looked at it before, 8 amp fuse, which is probably just the sum of all the outlets. So seems about right, because 2.75 total across all of them. 1.25, so that's what, 4.5. Wonder if it's 1 1/4 each of these, or if just there's a lot of headroom in there. Anyway, I definitely don't have any appropriate fuses on hand, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I might not do anything because this, I don't know how comfortable I would feel using this. But for now, I'm going to leave it at that. And I don't know. I'll return with something. To be continued.
Literally 1 year later. I don't know why, but I didn't really have much to say while I was recording this part of the video. And what I did have to say is mostly not suitable for YouTube. What you are witnessing here is an example of how not to solder. I'm really terrible at soldering, and I don't do it very often. Because I don't solder very often, I often forget basic things like using tweezers to hold bits of wire that might get hot. Alas. After all of the hemming and hawing in the video segment that I recorded last year, I just decided to restore the fuse to its original condition. I'm not going to use this power strip very often, and when I do, it will always be with a TRS-80 Model 1, so I don't have a lot of concerns about potential problems. Maybe I should. I wasn't able to find an exact matching 8 amp fuse, so I ended up using a 10 amp fuse instead. I don't think that will make any difference in practice. If there's a better way to have fixed this, please let me know in the comments. Even after all of the soldering lulls, by far the most difficult part of this repair was getting the case properly back together. This turned out to be a giant hassle. Oh man. Okay. So that's not right. I don't understand why. Okay. Why is this being difficult? Or to put it another way, why is this pissing me off? So the difficulty is the switch needs to poke out, so I can't set it down on a flat surface. All right. So I wonder if this is just warped and it's not gonna go together better. I don't understand. Okay. Well, if anyone has any advice about how to make this part not be like that, I would totally love to hear it. Man, that is... Is there just something I'm missing? All right, there's gotta be some aspect of this that I'm missing. I wonder how much of this will make it into the actual video, because this is stupid. Okay, so there's these little bits here. There's these little bits that need to go in these specific holes. Or are these just to push this down? They might just be to push it down because they don't line up with any of the holes. With any of these holes. Okay. This whole thing is a super janky design. I do not approve. need to like go together and snap in. Right, because these need to clip onto the back of this. Well, maybe not. I mean, maybe the plastic is just super warped and is just not cooperative. Well, it's definitely non-cooperative. Oh, okay. There. The most difficult part is just screwing the case back together, for crying out loud. What a noob. Okay, so it looks good. Now the real test. Is it going to explode and catch my house on fire? Please don't catch my house on fire. Off. Plug it in. Hey, the little light came on. That's something. All right, so I have this little very primitive tester. Turn it on. That light comes on. That light comes on. Yay. All right, so all the outlets seem good. Let's get the band back together. And wah, wah, wah. That was a bit anticlimactic. I'm pretty sure this disc works because I have used it previously with this system and other drives. I suspect this drive just needs some servicing. I'm not going to get to that this month, but I won't wait another whole year either. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to see follow-up content, please click the subscribe button. Until next time, try to remember the good stuff.